Hello everybody. All right, we are going to go over the CBA Review 1, starting where we left off in class. We got through 1 through 10, and then we wanted to take time to play our review game. So the assignment is you are watching this video, you are correcting your answers if they are incorrect, you are providing the proof and support if you did not have it, and you are listening carefully and studying to prepare yourself for the CBA on Tuesday. Question says, and this is number 11, and remember I told you in class, the question is asking which of the statements are true. None of these answer choices, and I apologize, these are the questions I was given to practice with, and so we're just going to come up with our own correct answer. So let's look at answer choice 1. She wrote a statement, 24 times 1/6 is equivalent to 24 divided by 6. Well, if I were to do keep, change, flip here, then that would be saying 24, change this, and to flip this, what started as 6/1 would then become 1/6. So that is a true statement. So that cannot be part of our answer. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. It can be part of our answer. Sorry about that. Okay, here she started with 5/8 divided by 3/8. But look, she flipped that first factor. That's a no-no. That is not true. You cannot flip the first factor and set it as equal, because if you were to solve these, you would get a completely wrong answer. And I do not want you to solve them. We're looking at them just based on logic. Okay, then she wrote 1 3/8 divided by 1/8. Well, first we have to popcorn. 8 times 1 is 8 plus 3 is 11. 11/8. So keep, change, flip. 1/8 becomes 8/1. That is true. Okay. Statement 4. She started as 2.5, 2 5/10, which we know can simplify to be 2 1/2. When you popcorn that, 2 times 2 is 4 plus 1 is 5. You get 5/2. So keep, there's no difference between 2.5, 2 1/2, and 5/2. They are the same value. Change, she changed it. 4/1 can flip to be 1/4. So when you popcorn and you keep, change, flip, that is true. So we can see that statements 1, 3, and 4 are true. So that would be our answer for that question. For number 12, they are giving you their recess soccer goal average. So Ann, out of 5 shots, she got 2 goals. They've already completed Derek's as really what this would start out to be is 3/8. So 3 out of 8 shots, which is 0.375. And I noticed that all of these need to be put into decimal form. So 2/5 is 4/10, because 5 is friendly. 5 goes into 10 very easily. So 5 times 2 is 10, 2 times 2 is 4, which would be 0.4. I came back later and added these zeros, and you'll see why. And I don't know why, I just wanted to show this was 375/1,000. I didn't need to do that. It's already in decimal form. So I just recopied it out there. And for Roberto, he had 4 attempts and got 2 goals. So that would, 4 doesn't go to 10 easily, but I can simplify it to make it friendly. 1/2 will go into 10 so easily. 2 goes into 10. 2 times 5 is 10. 1 times 5 is 5. So it's 5/10 in decimal form, 5/10. And I added the 0. Later you'll see why. 9/20, 20 is friendly. I can take that to 100. So 20 times 5 is 100. 9 times 5 is 45. When I put that in decimal form, I get 45 hundredths, and I added the 0. The reason I came in and added these zeros to make all of my numbers have 3 decimal places is so that I can compare them. Now I don't even need to look at the decimals. I can just look at these numbers. The question is asking ascending order. My friends, to ascend means to go up higher. So we're starting with the lowest. So the person with the lowest average recess soccer goal is going to be Derek because his starts with a 3. It's in the 300ths. Okay, so Derek would be first. So once we've done Derek, the next one, we're going to look at the 4s. This is 400 or 400. This is 450. Obviously, this is smaller. That would be Ann. So we got her next. Then when we get rid of Ann, then we have between these two. Obviously, 450 thousandths is smaller than 500 thousandths. So it would go Gwen and then Roberto. You can see this answer is not any of the answer choices provided. Again, I'm sorry, I did not make these up. I was given these questions to practice with. All right, we have a coordinate plane for number 14, and it's asking for a point located inside the star but outside the oval. That's two things to keep track of. Hey friends, do a little chart. I promise you it makes life easier. Okay, just to review, the x always comes first, and remember the x-axis goes across. The y-axis is the second part of the ordered pair, and the y-axis goes up and down. So let's start with A, -2 and 2. So I'm going to start at my origin, and I'm going to come across to my x value, which is -2. So my point is going to be anywhere on this line that intersects with my -2 on my x-axis. So -2 and then +2, so it's going to go up. Please notice we have Q1. This isn't in the question, but it's a good review. Q2, quadrant 3, and quadrant 4. Remember quadrant 2, the x is negative and the y is positive. So point A was in quadrant 2. Okay, point 2, but let's look at it. Point A right here was inside the star? Yes, I put a check mark. Is it outside the oval? No, it's inside the oval, so I put an X there. This is not our possible answer choice because it didn't meet both of the criteria. All right, -2, -3. So starting at my origin, going to the left 2 because my x is negative, and now I'm going down 3 because my y is negative. And remember, in quadrant 3, your x and your y are both negative. So I've got my B plotted here. And notice B is not even in the star, so it can't be an answer. Even though it's outside the oval, it's not in the star. Looking at question C, I've got -2 for my x. So again, I'm starting my origin, coming across. But for C, I'm going up to point 3. There's 1, 2, 3 on the y-axis. So here is my C, and it is inside the star and also inside the oval. So you can see, it's inside the star and it's not outside the oval, so it gets an X. Okay, last choice, -1 and 4. Starting at your origin, coming to the -1 line where it intersects the x-axis and going up 4 places on the y-axis. There it is, point D. It is outside the oval, but it's inside the star, so I marked my chart appropriately. My correct answer is D. Number 15, teacher gave the students, wrong question. 15, which of the following would result in a product greater than the first factor? Remember, this is the first factor, this is the second factor. 2 factors multiply to give you a product. I do not want you to solve these. This is your logic. You have been taught if the second factor is less than 1, the first factor will shrink. You're looking for the one that's going to make the first factor bigger, increase, greater. So, if I start with 13 and I multiply it by 7/8, well, let's look at 7/8. That is less than 1 because 1 would be 8 out of 8. So this is not going to grow. This is going to decrease because 7/8 is less than 1. Let's look at card 2. I've got, starting with 14, it doesn't matter what you start with. What matters is the second factor. Okay, my second factor, did you notice? It's improper, which means it is greater than 1. Anytime you multiply anything by something that is greater than 1, it's going to grow. So this answer is yes, because this is larger than 1. Okay, the next one. Starting with 41, but it doesn't matter what you start with. What matters is what you multiply it with. I noticed that 6 over 6 is equal to 1. So anything times 1, you're not going to grow or shrink. You're going to stay the same. 41 would be 41 still. So the question is saying which one would be greater, which one would grow, increase. That is a no. Okay, starting here, looking at your second factor. 8 over 7. That is improper. It's greater than 1. Anytime I multiply anything by a number larger than 1, it's going to grow. It's going to increase. It's going to be greater than. So that's a yes. So I have card 2 and card 4. That will be greater than. That is answer choice C. All right, number 16. I'm sorry. Yeah. Number 17. Okay, first of all, you have to convert these fabric amounts into decimals. And we have a flashcard for this one. You should have it memorized. 1 over 8. If you do not have it memorized, don't cry. Just do top dog in the house. You would just do 1 divided by 8. And then multiply it all out. And you would get 0.125. Here, they've given it to you in decimals. I added a 0. I annexed a 0, so I have 3 places. 4 over 5ths, I don't have to do top dog in the house. It's friendly. 5 goes into 10 times 2. 4 times 2 is 8. So that's 800ths. I added 2 decimal places to keep them even. Here it's in decimal. I added 1 decimal place. Now, it wants it from most used to least used. That would mean greatest to least. And you can see the fabric that was used the most with 810 thousandths was blue. Then comes purple with 800 thousandths. I'm sorry if I said 10 thousandths. 810 thousandths. 800 thousandths. Next would be green with 180 thousandths. And then after that would be last red, 125 thousandths. That would be blue, purple, green, red. Answer choice C. All right. These want greatest to least again. I told you in class to skip it if it had percent. I'm just going to go ahead and do it. We haven't done percent yet, but this is the problem they gave me to practice with. So greatest to least. 9 over 2 is the only, I'm looking at these and I'm seeing less than 1, greater than 1. 6 over 8 is less than 1 because 1 would be 8 over 8. 52 hundredths is less than 1. Guys, 25% just means 25 per 100, which is 0.25. 6 over 8, I made it friendly, 3/4. Remember, 3/4 is 75 hundredths. Okay, so now I can compare. The only one that is larger than 1 whole is 9 over 2, which is actually 4.5. Then I can rank them. 75 hundredths would be next, then my 52 hundredths, then my 25 hundredths. So that's not an answer choice, but that is the correct answer. All right, number 20. This is the question where the teacher gave her cards, and she's giving a prize to the card who is not equal. So I'm starting out with this. This is Mrs. Gilly's card. What this means, keep, change, flip, would really be 1,314 times 1/3, which is exactly what this is. So this is the same. So card 1 is equal. That's not what she's looking for. Well, I know this number divided by this number just means the same thing as in a fraction. 1,314 divided by 3. They are the same. And this one, so this one can't be the answer, so this one is. And what she did was she flipped it but didn't change the sign. So C is the best answer. Number 21 says, which one is closest to 0? Well, I'm looking at absolute value. This is a little over 4 away. This is a little over 2 away. 4 away, a little over 3 away. It's obvious. The best answer, the closest one to 0, is going to be B. Number 22, Mary and 6 of her friends went to the show. They got candy for $8